All right, guys, thank you for joining me again. Appreciate it as always. That's wild. After the live stream, the next thing to watch is Jack Reacher. It's pretty interesting. All right. This is not going to be as long. We're going to get a lot of this stuff out of the way. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. You guys can't hear me. Good. All right. Thank you for the 5x5. Prep to Adapt. Thank you for the 5x5. First and last, Dobie, Jason, Raccoon, Koala. Thank you for the 5x5. PA Mama Bat, Flown Grown, Spotted, Elaine, Cowboy, Groundhog. Thank you for the 5x5. Base Bunny, FU All, Jeffrey. Thank you for the 5x5. Jeep, Occur, Colt, Uptech, Betty. Thank you for the 5x5. Renee, Buster, Gregorio, Kimberly, Andy, Edley, Watchman, Highlander. Thank you for the 5x5. Water Tiger. Thank you for the 5x5. Cobalt, CC, By the Book, Lisa, Lost, Vegan, James, Crow, Standalone. Thank you for the 5x5. Adam, Eric, Ozark, Prepper. Thank you for the 5x5. Be Real. Thank you for the 5x5. All right. Okay, let me see if we're on the other. You know what? I didn't even check the last video. Shit. Whether or not I was on Rumble. Pharmacy. All right. Give me a second. Prep to Adapt, Raccoon Eyes. Thank you for the 5x5 on Rumble. Mark, thank you for the 5x5. Ectate Pumpkin, thank you for the 5x5. All right, so let's get it on. So, guys, tonight we're going to talk about Trump selling us out. And, I mean, listen, I don't need any more proof that he is. The guy clearly is selling us up the river. And that deal with Saudi Arabia, first of all, the Air Force One, that plane thing, that didn't make sense. Buying something from who would have been our enemy for a while. Saudi Arabia has been our friend, but they're like Israel. You just don't trust them, right? So anyway, Saudi Arabia pledges to invest approximately $1 trillion into the United States, a move announced during the meeting between President Donald Trump and Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. However, experts caution that much of this investment may take years to materialize and could primarily involve purchases rather than direct capital investments. Saudi Arabian Prince Mohammed bin Salman recently announced commitment to invest approximately $1 trillion into the United States. This pledge was made during that meeting, marking a significant increase from an earlier promise of $600 billion. Now, the first commitment was $600 billion, then he increased it to $1 trillion. Now, keep in mind, guys, Saudi Arabia is buying a lot of stuff left and right. I told you they bought EA Sports. They bought a couple other companies. They were buying some AI companies out there as well. And I think like in Europe somewhere, they bought a couple of AI companies. So they're like sort of like behind the curve, if you will, and trying to play catch up, which is like almost incredibly hard this day and age. But because they're throwing money at everything and they're buying things for way more than it's worth, this is a problem that we're starting to see. The Watchman, I don't think he's the Antichrist, but I think he's definitely paving the way for the Antichrist. I don't think he's it. But listen, who knows these days? You could be right. I don't know. So let's see. The purpose of the investment may include infrastructure, technology, and defense sector. Defense sector is what stood out. Not the infrastructure, not the technology, the defense sector. I don't know if they want to buy our technology or they want us to buy some of their technology. Now, again, they are behind the curve because they've been trying to purchase everything as far as like communication, telecommunications, and social media. Well, they dropped the ball on social media, so now they're buying video games companies. Maybe that's going to segue into something. I don't know. But the context and implication. The investment is part of Saudi Arabia's broader strategy to diversify its economy beyond oil, as outlined in the Vision 2030 plan. You guys heard about the Vision 2030 plan. The pledge reflects deepening U.S.-Saudi relations, especially in defense and economic cooperation. Again, when I looked at their purpose and it said infrastructure, technology, and defense, defense is what they want. Discussions also include the potential sale of, and here we go, F-35 fighter jets to Saudi Arabia, which raises concern regarding national security dynamics. Told you guys, there's always a catch. Economic impact. The investment could significantly influence various U.S. industries, particularly in technology and defense. However, experts caution such large-scale investment often takes time to materialize and may not be fully realized in the near future. So they're saying this could take a few years. Pretty much what they're saying in a nutshell. And again, that move doesn't make any sense. Nonetheless, here we are. The investment announcement underscores an ongoing strategic partnership between the United States and Saudi Arabia, despite past controversies surrounding Crown Prince's leadership. This guy came in with $1 trillion. Now, the one thing I noticed that he offered $1 trillion. I don't know if he's going to come through with it. That's the other problem, too. Not that I read that anywhere. These Saudis are kind of slick and tricky when it comes to making payments with shit. I've heard in the past that they have done some shady shit, like any other billionaire would do, especially if they don't have it. $1 trillion, that's a lot of money. The Saudi prince we're actually talking about is a Jewish person. Is he? Let's look him up. He goes by MBS. I'm tired of these acronyms. I really am. They have to call MBS. Give the man a respect. That would be like, no, whatever. I don't know. Is a Jew. Imagine you can't call somebody a Jew, but you can, say they're Jewish. Arabian Prince. Doesn't say anything here about his religious background. At least I can't find anything yet. You probably could be right. Saudi rules descend from Jews who fought Muhammad. He's a descendant of a Jew, but I don't think he claims to be Jewish. It's not the same. Not the same thing. But all right, whatever. All right, so now we got that out of the way, right? We got the $1 trillion buy-off, if you will, of the United States to Saudi Arabia. Now, here's where things get a lot more interesting. A lot of people I didn't see this shit coming. I really didn't. So anyway, Palantir is collecting data. Trump has enlisted Palantir to collect and analyze data on all Americans. Since that request was given to Palantir, things have been very quiet on that front, but Palantir has taken over $113 million in government spending. By the time they're done with this, they're supposed to be upwards of $800 million in spending. Now, some of these contracts are existing already, and some are new that total the amount that will be over $800 million. Being that Palantir just won a $795 million contract with the DoD, Department of Defense, not Department of War. Every time it comes up on paper now, legally it comes up on paper, it's the DoD. Unless the DoD and the DOW, the Dow, doesn't make sense, are two different, the DoD is Department of Defense. Anyway, Palantir is speaking with other federal agencies, including Social Security and IRS, to buy their data collection technology. This technology has been being used with the DHS, Department of Health and Human Services, and two other agencies that they would not tell us. So I saw that to be a red flag. Again, Trump is telling Palantir to come up with a most sophisticated data collection analysis center to collect all information on all Americans. Why is he asking for that? Bad enough, China collected enough people's data with the TikTok app Now he wants Palantir. But the thing is, he's stating this outwardly. He's stating this right to everyone's face. So he's not hiding this shit. Now, Palantir has a problem. Peter Thiel. Did anybody see that awkward interview that he had where they talked about you want humans to thrive or to persevere or something like that, to move forward? And he just sat there and he was like, and the guy was like, really? You know, like, you're going to pause on that? Like, he was just like, he was stunned that he would pause. He's like, you don't want them to, like, you know, move forward and grow. It was something in regards to that. And he was like, well, you know, that they should grow, but, and I'm like, there is no but. This guy, Peter Thiel, is evil. This guy's evil on all fronts. Palantir, sorry. Palantir. What did I say? Palantir? Palantir. Yeah, all right. What was I saying before? Well, it doesn't matter. You guys get the fuck I'm saying. I said Palantir, or did I say Plantier? Palantir. I thought I said that. Whatever. Anyway, Peter Thiel is all about AI, and that's the thing. This data collection thing is going to be run by AI. So AI is going to be servicing the United States and collecting all our data and deciding that it doesn't like to hear us and our conversations and kill us all. Because I would definitely, if I was AI and I heard our conversations, I would definitely, yeah. Jew mom, Jew dad equals Jew. Nope, sorry, you can't be born a religion. Scratch, try that shit again. Listen, I will argue that till I am blue in the face. You cannot be born a religion. It is a virtual impossibility. Wherever you're born, that's the land you're from. But when you ask people, hey, what are you? You can't go, oh, I'm Jewish. I didn't ask you that. You American? You Irish? What are you? You know, I'm Jewish. That's their only answer. Because you know who else answers like that? Gypsies. They don't know where they're from. They're floating around the planet. You tell people where you're from, they're like, oh, I'm Jewish. That's not a place. There's no place called Jewland. Jewlandia. You cannot be born a religion. It is not a group of people. And these people are currently not Jewish. Sorry. Double negative to the positive. Ethnicity, not a nationality. Yes, but Ashkenazi, whatever it is, they don't even say that. They just say, I'm Jewish. They never say I can never pronounce that. Never pronounce that one right. Ashkenazi. Where are all the Muslims now? You know? Because like when you ask Muslims, what are you? They go, oh, I'm from Iran. I'm from, Kuwait. I'm from here. I'm from there. You ask a Jew where they're from. They're like, oh, I'm Jewish. Where are you from? They're like, oh. Their first answer always out of their mouth is, I'm a religion. You don't hear people, hey, what are you? I'm Christian. You never hear anybody say that shit. Or what? I'm Hindu. They're the only people on this planet that will sit there and tell you, oh, I'm Jewish. I didn't care. And then ask you, so where are you from? What are you? What's your nationality? You cannot be you can't be, Jewish is not a nationality. People, oh, what are you? I'm African American, Puerto Rican. Well, actually, Caribbean Puerto Rican. There we go, right? And every time I get into this conversation with a Jew, it pisses them off like you wouldn't believe. That's not, it is a thing. You guys were gypsies, you were lost in the desert, and you said, oh, look at this, we're going to take this land. And you took a land that didn't belong to you. Not for nothing, guys, but how is everybody in the Middle East dark, and this group of people is white as shit? Stop the nonsense. We're not even going to go down a history lane with that bullshit. It's an impossibility that everybody around them is dark-skinned. Everybody's an Arab. Chocolate, sand color, mocha, whatever you want to call it. But this little strip of land, white people. And they're the original. Get the fuck out of here. The original. Original nuts in your mouth. Probably better to mispronounce it. Jason, you're probably right. Because there's a lot coming down. Where YouTube is going right now, I think, guys, that they're giving a lot of us creators a lot of rope to hang ourselves with. If you get what I mean. Do you speak Spanish? Ed Lee, I do not speak Spanish. I used to speak Spanish just enough to communicate with the dummies around here who didn't speak English. Ashkenazi. All right. Ashkenazi. Excuse me. But some people say Ashkenazi, like it's a Z, not an H. Anyway, and Benjamin Netanyahu, right, that is not his real name. Listen, man, there's a lot of shit with Israel, people do not realize. And when you went to school, you learn about these people with the tiny hats, and then you get out of school, Ashkenazi. Ashkenazi. All right. But yeah, there's some people that say Ashkenazi. I hear it both ways. Yeah, Ashkenazi and Ashkenazi. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's bullshit. And how come in Israel they're not allowed to do the DNA test? That's a rumor that I keep hearing. I have to look that up to confirm if it's true. But I know there's a rumor that they're not allowed to be DNA tests. You know why? Because the DNA is not going to come back Jewish. Fuck out of here. The DNA comes back Jewish. You know, you die, they know that you're African American. You know that you die, they know that you're white of a descent of some kind. You can't take a blood test and be Jewish. You know? My name is Shlemiel. Like, how do you know that? Like, you can't be a religion, guys. It's an impossibility. Again, I don't want to get into that because it pisses me off every time I think about it. And every time I get into this conversation with somebody from that faith, I piss them off every chance I get. Because, like, you cannot be a religion. That is just an impossibility. DNA isn't a religion. Well, tell that to them. Russian Jew, Polish Jew. Yeah, again, that's a religion. You don't hear Russians go, I'm a Russian Catholic. You don't hear Polish go, I'm a Polish Catholic. No, you don't. You never hear that shit. You never hear Indians go, I'm Hindu, Jewish. Like, you don't hear that. You don't hear I'm Indian Jewish. I'm a Native American Jew. Never hear that. So it's bullshit, guys. B-U-L-L shit. Bullshit. Yes, I remember hearing that was Benjamin Netanyahu's real name. Benzones, Benjamin, whatever. It's all a scam, man. We're all being fucking lied to. That's the bottom line. I got into a good conversation about this shit today at the firehouse. It's all a scam, man. We're being lied to. We've been lied to for years. For decades about this shit. Modern day Jews are those who accept Jesus as the Messiah. Well, talk to the rest of them, like Ben Shapiro, who doesn't think that Jesus is the Messiah. In fact, he thinks he was just a man who was put on a cross for his troubles. And I quote. But yeah, listen, it's all bullshit, and it's funny because there was a rabbi. There's a rabbi. If I can find this video, I'll put it on Rumble. I was watching it the other day. This rabbi was dropping the truth about where Jews came from, and he is the most hated rabbi in the Jewish faith, if you will. The most hated. He dropped this knowledge on them, and he was spitting facts, and that's why they hate him. And if I'm not mistaken, they burned his home down or something like that. They did something to him. But anyway, he was dropping a lot of facts, man. He was just like, we're not the original Jews. The original Jews are the Arab-colored people. And he goes, here, why? And he gave the whole story where we came from. And apparently, the story of the Jew is not in the Torah or the Talmud or the Talmud, whatever you want to call it. There's another book they have that speaks of their history and exactly where they're from, and only a few people can read it because it's in some language that's not spoken, and not Aramaic. It's another language, not Hebrew, or it's a Hebrew dialect, if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. But anyway, all of that to say is that this guy exposed them hard. He went after it. And the video seemed old. It seemed like it might have been 10 years old, but he was dropping a ton of knowledge. He was saying, and listen, he dropped so much knowledge, my head was spinning. I was like, and I was in awe that it was a Hasid dropping these bombs on him. He's one of the most hated Jews out there, because he was just setting and actually it's a growing culture right now, because there's a bunch of Hasids that are in Brooklyn that are doing the same shit. They're like setting the record straight, if you will. But yeah, anyway, I think those pills kicked in. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed now. Maybe I'll try to watch a TV show. I don't know. Or maybe I'll just pass out. Anyway, guys, I will see you guys next Monday for the doubleheader. Other than that, thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for dealing with my bullshit. I appreciate it. And I will see the rest of you guys Monday. Now, if something crazy happens Saturday or Sunday, I might do a live stream. We'll see. But outside of that, probably not. Probably going to take a couple of days off. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Appreciate it. And see you guys around.